woke up, flipped on YouTube, and, bing. See this fascinating story. See screenshot. Okay, fine, I'll watch the vid too. Though the headline says poop train, people's actually described the stench as a decomposing body, as the news lady paraphrased, but the actual citizen shown said something like the following, and I'll give $1 to the first person who can actually understand what words she used to describe corpse. It smelled just like I haven't a corpse.
It smelled just like I haven't
So,
a corpse.
what at first was just a fun headline to screenshot and send, became evidence of another likely example of the press massaging the message to subtly manipulate the public mind, especially if instead of poop, my new band name, 3 words, abbreviated for cool fans, IOP, that darn train really stinks like it's full of dead COVID bodies, or maybe just mysteriously deceased bodies they're calling COVID in the stats, and B. the dark magic religion them lizard people at the top of the conspiracy pyramid believe in, wherein one of the fundamental ritual requirements is that they telegraph their nefarious activities to the unsuspecting public by hidden, often symbolic means. In the time-honored tradition of those with eyes to see and ears to hear, employing sometimes not-so-hidden messages in their constant flood of mind-control blather being aimed, like an overpressurized fire hose with a broken on-off spigot, at all of us silly little news imbibers. Which is why this kind of story would be put out at all rather than just kept secret under the rug, so to speak, because they have a need to give hints and clues, in order for their magic sacrifices to have efficacy. Unamused face. Grinning face with smiling eyes. I don't know why that kind of narrative logic, is so easy to, 1. adapt current events to, 2. write up in kind of a semi-convincing internal loop, sort of circular logic fashion that begins to, 3. almost seem credible the more you think of things in that light, and B is, 1, almost inherently attractive as a storyline to compete with the dumbifyingly mind-numbing nature of boring old reality and the sadly prosaic news stories that attempt to inform us of said lackluster banality, and then, again, 2, almost reflexively believable. Automatically, due to the core kernel of conspiracy essence likely 100% of all of us have had deposited in the center of our burgeoning consciousnesses. Shortly after birth when the myths and tropes of religion, whether organized, loosely held or simply unwittingly inherited via general cultural osmosis, quickly began to take up residence in the central processing centers of our nascent psyches, even before that, from the very moment of birth, as our astounded consciousnesses are brashly and rudely awakened into the inscrutable and ubiquitous mystery that surely is reality itself, in the first place. where the very nature of such limitless unknowability and utter confusion sets forth an inescapable ultimatum, screaming silently but incessantly in the yawning void of existence, make sense of the world, or die trying. Or die, either way actually, but one way is more comfortable, or comforting. And so at the most fundamental roots of our human being, that design that some of the continental philosophers spoke of, is a conspiracy-soaked CPU, as it were, and all our estimations and calculations and observations and conclusions about life and reality are inevitably born with that original sin-like quality, from the get-go, when nothing really, truly explains the things we experience. Substitute stories instead. Stories. Conspiracy theories are really just stories. And stories are like turtles. And it's turtles all the way down, as the famous saying goes that perfectly captures one of the core quandaries of existence, the logical paradox of foundationless foundations, causeless effects, and ultimately things like the immovable mover. So, yes, enjoy the poop train video. As you can see, it's about so much more than a poop train, though. It always is. Which would also make a good t-shirt. With the "it always is" on the backside, fittingly, somehow, I suppose. Poop train video.
It's a story not easily forgotten. The poop train. For months in 2017 and 18, it rolled into Jefferson County, carrying human waste from parts of New York and New Jersey. People living in West Jefferson, Adamsville, and Graysville were terrorized by an odor that some described as a decomposing body.
It smelled just like I had run over a corpse.
But by the summer of 2018, Big Sky Environmental vowed to stop hauling in the out-of-state waste. It appeared to be a victory for people in the area. But West Jefferson resident David Brassfield had his doubts.
I really never thought it was gone, because I knew that that Big Sky was very aggressive at getting this waste into this area and making the money they're going to make off of it.
And Brassfield was right. For the last few months, he's heard rumors about Big Sky Environmental building their own rail spur on their property. This month, the Alabama Department of Environmental Management confirmed those suspicions. These are pictures taken by an ADEM inspector on February 1st. They noted a newly constructed rail spur and 8 empty rail cars. So what's being hauled into the rail yard here at Big Sky? Well, documents show it could be that out-of-state facilities from New York and New Jersey have received permits to dump their waste here at Big Sky.